He found himself a minor character in a steamy romance novel, the kind with an over-the-top plot and very little left to the imagination. He was Leo, the disposable roommate to the two male leads, Liam and Ethan. One night, a pressing need woke him from his sleep, and he stumbled out of his room only to find the main couple murmuring sweet nothings to each other in the bathroom. It was mortifying. They really didn't see him as a person. He was a straight man trapped in a world built for someone else's fantasy. Thankfully, it was a one-on-one story, or he might have truly lost his mind. His role was simple: be the background character in a large Chicago loft shared by 4 people. 3 of them were wealthy heirs pretending to be normal, 2 of whom were destined for each other. That left him, Leo, the odd one out. For the first few days, he was paralyzed by paranoia. He slept fully clothed and spent a small fortune on a new, heavy-duty lock for his bedroom door, terrified of compromising his virtue. The only result after 2 days was an irritating heat rash, while the main characters had yet to even learn his name. It was a reality that was both deeply insulting and a profound relief. The next morning, the sound of a door slamming shut jolted him awake. He was groggily making his way to the kitchen when he saw Liam walk in, carrying a bag filled with what smelled like artisanal bagels and fresh coffee. Leo offered a hopeful, friendly greeting. Liam merely gave him a cold nod before brushing past him without a second glance. So much for camaraderie. As Leo got ready for the day, he saw Liam head straight for Ethan's room. His voice, usually clipped and cool, was now impossibly gentle as he encouraged Ethan to wake up and eat. A soft murmur came from inside the room. Curiosity getting the better of him, Leo peeked around the corner. Ethan, with his fair, delicate features, was leaning against the headboard, talking to Liam with a sweet compliance that made Liam's eyes soften with an almost tangible tenderness. A shiver of second-hand embarrassment went down Leo's spine. He grabbed his bag and fled the apartment. They weren't even officially together yet and were already this intense. If they ever did make it official, the sheer force of their romance might just bring the building's structural walls down. He wasn't joking. Characters in these novels defied the laws of physics and social decency. He immediately started looking up contact information for construction contractors, believing firmly in proactive preparation. Just as he was saving a third number, a hand landed on his shoulder. He turned to see Caleb, the other forgotten roommate, who also worked at the same company. Caleb pushed a breakfast sandwich into his hands. Leo was so moved he could have cried. He thanked his fellow side character profusely. Caleb just grunted an affirmation, telling him to eat. Caleb was, by all objective measures, just as wealthy, handsome, and popular as the 2 leads, but the script had cast him as a supporting role. So he was stuck in the background with Leo. After Leo had devoured the sandwich, he noticed Caleb staring at him, a strange expression on his usually indifferent face. He asked what was wrong. Caleb's question came out low and serious. He wanted to know if Leo had noticed something off about Liam and Ethan. He felt they were always together, acting like a couple. Leo, as a key cog in the narrative machine, knew it was his job to pave the way for the main characters. He adopted a serious tone, reminding Caleb that this was the 21st century and love was love. He suggested that discrimination would only harm the harmony of their shared living space, deliberately testing him. Caleb glanced at him, then shook his head, his expression unreadable. He claimed he wasn't prejudiced. He just wanted to confirm if Leo was uncomfortable with it. Leo laughed it off, assuring him they were all friends here. As he cheerfully pulled Caleb along toward their office, he caught a fleeting glimpse of Caleb's eyes flicking down toward his backside. The look was so brief and neutral that he dismissed it immediately. Later that day, Liam and Ethan finally sauntered into the office. Liam had subtly positioned himself next to Ethan, his possessiveness a palpable force field. He whispered something that made Ethan's eyes shimmer and the tips of his ears turn a deep shade of crimson. The other colleagues were oblivious, but Leo saw it all. He let out a low, knowing chuckle. The city's hotels had better prepare for a storm. As he was reveling in the drama, Caleb, from the adjacent desk, suddenly spoke. He asked Leo how someone could know if they were attracted to men. Leo froze. He was the last person to ask. But he tried to be helpful, speculating that it was probably similar to liking women, a sense of possessiveness, a physical urge. He pointed out how Liam was always protectively hovering around Ethan. Just yesterday, Liam had shot him a death glare for smiling too long at his precious boy. Caleb then asked if Leo himself ever felt that impulse toward another man. Leo scoffed, proudly declaring his status as an 18-karat gold, certified straight man who only had eyes for cute girls. Caleb looked at him, his dark eyes intense. Liam used to say he was straight, too, he murmured. Leo knew that a protagonist's journey to self-discovery was inevitable, but he was different. Fearing Caleb was worried about having two gay men under one roof, Leo clapped him on the shoulder with misplaced confidence, promising to stick by him as a fellow straight man. Caleb watched him for a long moment before a slow, lazy smile spread across his face. It was a smile full of meaning that Leo couldn't decipher. In the days that followed, the main couple's relationship progressed at lightning speed. One evening, Liam accidentally spilled water on his own bed and suggested sleeping in Ethan's room. Ethan, blushing, agreed. The door closed, but it couldn't muffle the rustling sounds from within. Leo dutifully put on his noise-canceling headphones, determined to be a deaf and blind observer. He just hoped they would keep it down. He was wrong. Just as he was drifting off, he heard a door creak open. He initially ignored it, but a growing pressure in his bladder became impossible to ignore. He stumbled out of his room to find the bathroom light off. Strange. As he reached for the door, an arm wrapped around him from behind, pulling him back against a hard chest. "Don't move," a familiar low voice whispered in his ear. It was Caleb. Leo froze, whispering back, asking what was happening. Caleb sighed, his lips brushing against Leo's ear as he explained that Liam and Ethan were inside. Leo's ears perked up. The sounds coming from the bathroom were unmistakable. It was an epic battle of titans. Their public displays of affection were one thing, but this was another level. It was as if he and Caleb were unwilling participants in their little drama. His bladder about to burst, Caleb wordlessly led a stunned Leo out of the apartment and down to the public restroom in their building's lobby. They stood side by side at the urinals. A strange, unspoken male competitiveness took over. Leo subtly glanced to his side and almost choked. Caleb's calm voice cut through the silence. "What are you looking at, Leo?" Leo laughed nervously, quickly looking away and insisting he wasn't looking at anything. To change the subject, he asked if Caleb was tired, wondering if they should go straight back up. Caleb, fastening his pants, replied that they should. But Leo hesitated, admitting he didn't want to go back to a live broadcast. Caleb had an idea. He looked at Leo, his eyes catching the dim light. "You can come to my room tonight." Leo's brain short-circuited. Seeing his stunned silence, Caleb clarified they could watch a movie together until the coast was clear. It was a tempting offer. Shared awkwardness was better than solitary awkwardness. Plus, Caleb's room was the nicest and had the best soundproofing. Leo agreed. They tiptoed back into the apartment. The battle in the bathroom was still raging. On the way to Caleb's room, Leo's foot slipped on the dark floor. Before he could curse, A strong arm snaked around his waist, steadying him. He whispered his thanks, his heart still pounding. The house was pitch black, and he couldn't make out Caleb's expression. After a moment, Caleb just grunted, and it's nothing. Leo felt a surge of warmth. This was what true, uncomplicated male friendship was like. He sat cross-legged on Caleb's bed while Caleb closed the door and joined him. In the faint moonlight filtering through the window, Leo could see the defined muscles in Caleb's arms as he leaned back. He idly thought that in a different kind of story, Caleb would have been the handsome, brooding second lead. He asked what movie they should watch. Caleb handed him a tablet, telling him to pick whatever he wanted. Leo chose a foreign horror film with a particularly gory cover. They sat shoulder to shoulder, each with an earbud in. The movie started off fine, with enough jump scares to make Leo instinctively lean closer to Caleb, their legs and arms pressed together. Caleb didn't push him away, but as the movie progressed, something felt off. The two male protagonists on screen suddenly held hands. Then they embraced. Then things became much more explicit. This wasn't a horror movie. It was a horror movie from this novel's twisted universe. His face burned with embarrassment. He scrambled to pause the film, but Caleb's hand clamped down on his, stopping him. "Shoo," Caleb whispered. "They're coming out." Leo froze. With one ear, he listened to the faint sounds of the couple emerging from the bathroom, and with the other, he was forced to listen to the breathless audio from the movie. Caleb's palm on his hand grew progressively hotter. Leo risked a glance at him. The guy felt like he was running a fever. Finally, the apartment fell silent. The main couple had gone back to their room. Leo ripped out his earbud and paused the movie, announcing he was done. As he got up to leave, he couldn't help but ask if Caleb was sick, mentioning his burning hand. Leaning against the headboard, Caleb's voice was low. "No, just a little hot." Hot? In the middle of a Chicago autumn? Leo's mind went to a less innocent possibility. A grin spread across his face. He patted Caleb's knee in camaraderie. "Thanks for tonight, man. Get some sleep. Don't get too worked up." Then he slipped out and went back to his own room. To move the plot along toward its conclusion, Leo decided he had to take matters into his own hands. He suggested a weekend trip to a hot springs resort, an event he remembered as being a major turning point in the original novel. It was where a host of dramatic side characters would appear, create a misunderstanding between Liam and Ethan, and lead to a fiery, passionate reconciliation. Ethan, ever eager for an outing, immediately agreed. Liam, doting as always, followed suit. Caleb simply looked at Leo and nodded. That Friday, the four of them arrived at a secluded resort nestled in the woods. Seeing the smoldering looks already being exchanged between the main couple, Leo wisely pulled Caleb aside, telling him they should give the lovebirds their space for the next couple of days. Caleb glanced at the hand Leo had slung over his shoulder. He asked why Leo assumed he wanted to hang out with Ethan. Leo explained it would be awkward for them to intrude. Caleb's lips curved into a faint smile. He asked what they should do instead. Leo grinned, suggesting they hit the hot springs themselves. They found a smaller, more private pool. The steam was thick in the air, and the sound of bubbling water was soothing. As Leo leaned back, enjoying the tranquility, the water beside him rippled. He opened his eyes to see Caleb sitting down next to him, his bare torso and perfectly sculpted abs on full display. Leo, for all his claims of being straight, felt a flicker of discomfort and looked away. Before he could say anything, Caleb mentioned that they could hear Liam and Ethan from the larger pool nearby. Leo strained his ears and, sure enough, he could hear their disgustingly sweet banter. Fed up with the live commentary, he grabbed Caleb and declared they were going back to the room to watch a movie. This time, he chose a sci-fi blockbuster. Surely that would be safe. He was wrong. The movie featured an interspecies love scene that was both bizarre and graphic. He quickly switched to a family drama. That, too, descended into a morally ambiguous and shockingly intimate territory. Mortified, he went to change it again, his hand accidentally brushing Caleb's knee. Before he could apologize, Caleb's hand shot out and gripped his wrist. The heat was back, just like that night in his room. He was about to tease Caleb when he saw that Caleb wasn't looking at him. He was staring at the screen, his expression dark and unreadable. "Leo," Caleb's voice was raspy. "Don't you think that actor looks a bit like you?" Leo squinted at the screen, confused. He didn't see the resemblance. Caleb turned to face him, his gaze intense and direct. "The waist is just as slim." The comment, and the way Caleb was looking at him, felt deeply unsettling. Just as Leo was trying to process this sudden, charged atmosphere, his phone rang. It was Ethan. He answered, relieved at the interruption. Ethan's voice was soft and a little slurred, inviting him and Caleb to a barbecue happening outside. Caleb had already stood up and walked into the bathroom, his posture strangely stiff. Leo, feeling the need to escape the room, told Ethan he'd be right there. At the barbecue, he saw a group of unfamiliar faces, friends of Liam's, he presumed. He recalled this part of the plot. A sleazy guy would try to drug Ethan to get to Liam, but the plan would backfire. Sure enough, he saw a man who fit the description discreetly slip something into a cup. But instead of approaching Ethan, the man walked directly toward Leo. He held out the cup with a suggestive smile, saying it was a pleasure to meet him and offering to share a drink. Leo was baffled. The guy had the wrong target. He politely declined, but the man was persistent, insisting that any friend of Liam's was a friend of his. Leo was about to refuse more firmly when Ethan, sensing the tension, stepped in. He took the cup, explaining that Leo didn't drink, and downed the contents himself before anyone could stop him. Within moments, Ethan's eyes glazed over. Leo panicked, shoving the sleazy man away and catching Ethan as he stumbled. Just as his hands wrapped around Ethan's waist, two furious voices cut through the air. "What are you two doing?" "Leo, get your hands off him." He looked up to see Liam and Caleb, their faces dark with rage. Caleb, in particular, looked betrayed, as if he'd just witnessed Leo switch allegiances. His survival instinct kicked in. He quickly explained what had happened, thrusting the dazed Ethan into Liam's arms. Liam's expression softened slightly as he thanked Leo before carrying Ethan away. Leo was about to breathe a sigh of relief when Caleb grabbed his arm, his grip like iron, and dragged him back toward their room without a word. The door slammed shut, and Caleb pinned him against it. "Do you like Ethan?" he demanded, his voice low and dangerous. Leo vehemently denied it, insisting he was straight. Caleb countered that his actions lately didn't seem very straight. Annoyed at having his identity questioned, Leo challenged him, suggesting they take an online sexuality test to prove it. He was confident. A few minutes later, he stared at the result on his phone screen in silence. Bisexual. It had to be a bug. He took it again. Same result. He angrily declared the test was broken. To prove his point, he had Caleb take it. And then he saw Caleb's result. 100% gay. He was stunned. It had to be the tests. But Caleb took 3 more from different websites. The result was always the same. Pure gay. Leo looked at Caleb, a nervous lump forming in his throat. He asked his friend if it was true. "Yes, I am Leo, Caleb said, his voice quiet but firm. And it's because of you. He stepped closer, his gaze unwavering, filled with an undisguised affection that sent a million frantic thoughts racing through Leo's mind. Trapped, Leo blurted out the only truth he had left. He told Caleb he wasn't from this world, that this was all a story, and he couldn't return Caleb's feelings because he would eventually disappear. You have to give up, he pleaded. Caleb's reaction was not what he expected. He just nodded calmly. I know. Leo's jaw dropped. Caleb explained that he'd long suspected this world wasn't real. Everyone else moved and spoke like programmed machines, their faces generic and unremarkable. Their paths were fixed, their lives in service to some unseen narrative. And then I saw you, Caleb said. You were different. You were vibrant, real. From that moment, I knew you didn't belong here. He admitted he'd watched Leo orchestrate Liam and Ethan's relationship, noting how Leo always seemed to know what would happen next. This world, he concluded, must be a book. Leo, dumbfounded by the character's self-awareness, confirmed everything. It was a romance novel, and they were all just side characters. He explained that once the main story ended, he would return to his own world. That would happen around the New Year's holiday when Liam and Ethan moved out. So we can only be friends, Caleb. You get that, right? He said, trying one last time. Caleb let out a short, humorless laugh. I have no interest in being your friend. That night, Leo got his own room. The plot was nearly complete. He just had to endure a little longer. But what about Caleb? The thought tormented him. For the next few days, he avoided Caleb, who, in turn, gave him space but continued his small acts of kindness. Leaving breakfast for him, saving him a seat, quietly handling his work overflows. It made Leo feel like a heartless jerk. Finally, unable to bear the tension any longer, he sought Caleb out. He looked at Caleb, who had been watching him silently, and casually asked if he was up for some gaming later that night. Caleb's eyes lit up. Yes, he said. They fell back into their old rhythm. Caleb never mentioned his feelings again, and for a while, Leo could almost believe he'd imagined that night at the resort. During the holidays, Caleb would video call him daily. They talked about everything: games, work, the main couple, and sometimes Leo would talk about his world. After one such story, Caleb's voice was barely a whisper. I wish I could go with you. Leo's hand tightened on his phone, a strange, bittersweet ache blooming in his chest. After the new year, on the first day back at work, Liam and Ethan announced they were moving out to live together. It was happening. As Leo and Caleb helped them pack a few days later, they all stood at the curb watching the main couple leave. The story was over. As they stood there in silence, Leo's body began to shimmer, turning translucent. Caleb grabbed his hand, his grip desperate, his eyes wide with panic. Leo smiled, telling him not to be afraid. He revealed that his real name wasn't Leo. It was Lucas. Caleb's voice was tight with emotion. Lucas, will you remember me? Lucas nodded seriously, promising that he always would. Goodbye, Caleb. I'm going home. As his form faded completely, he heard Caleb's final words, a declaration that transcended the collapsing world around them. I will always remember you, Lucas, because I love you. He woke up in his own bed, the novel still open on his phone. The last line read, End of main story. He scrolled through the book again, a hollow feeling in his chest. But something was different. There was no character named Leo. His existence had been wiped clean. His heart sank. Then, after the final chapter, he saw an extra. An epilogue from Caleb's perspective. In his world, Leo had existed. Caleb had loved him, lost him, and spent the rest of his life searching for him. The author's note in the comments was confused. "Hey everyone, I didn't write this extra chapter, and for some reason the site won't let me delete it. Must be a bug." Tears welled in Lucas's eyes. It wasn't a bug. He had been real, and Caleb remembered. He thought that memory would be all he had left, until his first day at his new job. After orientation, he went to get a final signature from the newly appointed general manager. He pushed open the door and froze. Sitting behind the desk was a man with Caleb's face, Caleb's posture, Caleb's cool, indifferent aura. The man looked up, and a faint smile touched his lips. "Hello. I'm the new GM, Caleb Zhou. It's a pleasure to be working with you."